What's going on, guys? Lee Steven here with a little bit of an update as to some things that have been going down lately. Actually, a pretty big update. This is an update I've been waiting for quite some time, and I am thrilled to finally get to share it. And I wanted to share it first with this little video, but I'm also going to make a post soon in more of, I guess, an official capacity and kind of lay out, what this is. But I'm so excited to get to tell you guys. For the past couple months, and I referenced this in my last video, that as much as I was pushing out, trying to get Epic 6 out there, there was another project that I was working on that was taking precedence over getting that out. So I had to finish this project first before getting on to Epic 6. I can finally share what this project is, and I'm so excited. So I have been contracted for a novel series set in Sandy Peterson's Hyperspace universe. So if you don't know Sandy, he is a legend in the gaming industry, and I'm going back to video games, to board games, just all sorts of amazing things. For example, he worked on the original Doom, not the new Doom, but the original game way back in the day. And he's done a slew of games. He really is the person. If you're familiar with, or if you've ever heard of Cthulhu and the whole Lovecraftian genre, he is the one who's largely responsible for having that be prominent right now and sort of making Lovecraft and all of his stories, big in the public eye right now. And there's a lot of Lovecraftian things going around. It's kind of like in a little bit of a heyday right now with some video games and other things. But I have been blessed on an incredible level with the opportunity to work with Sandy on his latest game, which is called Hyperspace. And it's actually a board game that is based off of an old video game that was one of the big inspiring things for me when I was coming up and being a writer. And so that's why this is such a cool thing for me, is because I get to actually work on a novel series, a proposed trilogy, but right now I'm working on book 1 that's taking place in the Hyperspace universe. The original game Hyperspeed, so see, this is Hyperspace. It was after an original game called Hyperspeed that Sandy created back in the 90s. Boy, I'm going to try and early 90s. I'm not sure the exact 90-something, but I can go ahead and look that up when I make the post. But Hyperspeed was one of the games that really got me interested in science fiction. And there's kind of a big three for me, right? So there's XCOM, I talk about Master of Orion, and I talk about Hyperspeed. Hyperspeed was such an influence for me in kind of the space sim role-playing thing that I actually have an homage to it in Epic. So if you are familiar with the Bachma no boat in Epic, the no boat was named after a spaceship that was in Hyperspeed called a dark boat, which had some similar properties. And so that was a little opportunity for me to slip in a little nod and a wink to Hyperspeed. And so I actually get to talk about that now because I'm writing in that universe. So this first book is in progress now. It's probably about 70% done, I would say, 70, 75. But it's come along great. It's going to be a very different kind of tale. I don't want to say a whole lot about it just yet, other than it is a story with, it's in first person, which this is a first for me. Epic and the other books that I've written have all been sort of from a third person, omniscient-ish perspective. But this is going to be purely first person with alternating points of view between chapters. So you have chapter 1 that's from a perspective, and then chapter 2 is from another perspective. Then we alternate between the two throughout the entire series. None of the points of view are human points of view. So it's kind of interesting because this is a space sim. There are all sorts of different species out there, throughout the galaxy. And the points of view will be from two of these beings. And so the fun part about that for me is that I really get to, as much as write a story and a narrative and an arc and all these fun things that I do and that you guys have come to love from me, I also get to kind of do a study on what is it like to be human. How is it perceived to be human through the eyes of someone who is not human? And so that's a lot of fun. And, at times it's hilarious. At times, I hope it's really compelling and really makes you think about about behavior and how we think, and how sometimes the way we think is a little bit odd when you really break it down. So it's going to be so much fun. So there are some sample chapters up. Sandy just posted about this on the Hyperspace Kickstarter. So if you go to Kickstarter and look up Hyperspace, you can actually see the post that references this. And he has a link to the first 2 chapters. So you can actually read the first 2 unedited. I'm going to make that point clear. The first 2 unedited chapters of Hyperspace and see what you think. I'll make sure I post the actual link to this when I make the official post and put it up on social media. But yeah. Now, you know what? When I post this up, I'll put the link in there too, so you can go and find it that way. But stay tuned, because there's more information coming. There's a lot more writing to do, and I'm excited to finally get a chance to talk to you guys and let you guys in on this little secret that I've been keeping for a little while. So there is a new book coming. It's going to be a 2020. Actually, 2 books coming, because we're going to get Epic 6. Finally, we're going to get Epic 6. It's going to be a great book. It's a long book. That's part of the delay in it. Not only because I have this project that I wanted to get done, I had to get done, but it's so long. It's so flipping long. I'm ready for the book to get shorter, guys. And every time I promised that the next book will be shorter, I have broken my promise. So no more promises. The next book will be what it is, and then 8 will be what it is, and we'll be done. But yeah. So as soon as Hyperspace 1. Which doesn't have an official title yet outside of Hyperspace 1, but I'll work on that. As soon as that's out, I'll get right back to Epic 6 and get rolling. But until then, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel, because this is like the groundwork here. I mentioned this in the last video, kind of starting to build it up. So I'm going to have this channel with some more regular content. Especially once we get into our new house later in the year and actually have an office and cool things and all that fun stuff. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, check out Hyperspace. Stay cool, people.